Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Loving Bravely, 20 Lessons of Self-Discovery to Help You Get the Love You Want, by Alexandra H. Solomon, Ph.D., narrated by Vanessa Daniels. And there you are, standing by, giving me space to draw you close, conjuring, feeling and knowing, into touch, whispers, and light, on a page written to the beat of the very you that got me here. We will make history anew, dear love, mastering ourselves in the midst of each other, loving bravely. From Dear Love by Alexandra Foles. Forward. Most of us love to be in love, but often we don't know how to find love or how to sustain it. In this remarkable book, Alexandra Solomon addresses both issues as she takes us on a journey of discovery, exploring the wonders, challenges, and dilemmas of love. Loving Bravely empowers the reader to shift from how to find Mr. or Ms. Right to how to be Mr. or Ms. Right. Alexandra identifies the key skills for being a great lover, not just in bed, but also throughout the day. To be a great lover, you need to develop relational self-awareness, understanding what makes you tick. Alexandra encourages us to examine our stories about love, sex, gender, and commitment. As she notes, these stories we tell ourselves shape our reactions, often in ways that leave us unhappy. Taking ownership of our own stories opens up a space for us to write a more successful narrative. In my own book, I also explore the idea that, rather than being a victim in your life, you can be an author of your life and your relationship. Alexandra Solomon's book gives you a terrific roadmap for becoming the author of your own relational life. Alexandra defines bravery as the courage to face yourself, to identify your vulnerabilities and ways of navigating in the relational world. To be brave in love is also to accept that love is messy and constantly evolving. Rather than thinking in black and white terms, she encourages us to embrace the gray area, to see the circularity of our dances with our partner, and to embrace the dialectics of love. The same person who loves and protects us can let us down at times. We are kind and considerate, but we can be selfish and reactive when we feel threatened. Accepting the both-and nature of life and of love is part of the wisdom that Alexandra offers us. Loving Bravely. In my work with distressed couples, I help them develop skills of relational empowerment, which includes emotion regulation, empathy, and generosity. Alexandra offers techniques that facilitate these skills. She suggests that we find a space between stimulus, when someone you love says things that upset you, and response, when you blow up at that person. We don't have to react on automatic pilot, driven by our emotional brain. We can pause and ask, as Alexandra suggests, what would love do? We can respond with our higher brain, choosing a more mature response. Alexandra encourages us to examine how we show up for love. In her view, we are not just passive recipients of what our partner dishes out. We can make choices that allow us to be successful lovers in the broadest sense. The opening metaphor Alexandra uses in her introduction is of a driver in a car. This metaphor reappears in the book. She asks us, who's in the driver's seat of your life? We could say that this book is a kind of driver's ed manual for your relational life. She offers this manual not in a cookbook kind of way. Love can't be reduced to a bunch of how-tos. And she doesn't offer her ideas in a holier-than-thou, preachy way. Alexandra Solomon offers her wisdom about relationships, and there is a lot of wisdom in this book, in an inviting, accessible, often funny way. In addition to referencing key ideas from psychology and relationship science, she shares vignettes from her clinical practice and from her own life. She is slogging through the same relational mud as the rest of us, and she invites us along on her own journey in the relational realm. Love is not a destination. It is a process. To be a great lover, you need to develop skills of emotional intelligence. Alexandra offers us practical tools to develop these skills, along with ways to step outside of our own narrow beliefs and assumptions. She encourages us to develop authorship and freedom in our love lives. You are in for a treat as you read this book. Alexandra's tone is witty, irreverent, and inviting. She understands the challenges of the current dating culture, as well as the ways we can get stuck in our own relational perspective, based on our family history, culture, and gender training. In a delightful manner, Alexandra challenges us to name our assumptions and to grow so we can cultivate a more successful narrative. She encourages us to love ourselves so we can love another, and to bring self-compassion to our vulnerabilities. Go on the journey with her. You will come out wiser on the other side, with great tools to become the hero or heroine of your own love story. Mona DeKoven Fishbane, Ph.D., author, Loving with the Brain in Mind, Neurobiology and Couple Therapy, Director, Couple Therapy Training, Chicago Center for Family Health. Introduction. The Love Classroom. If he desired to know about automobiles, he would, without question, study diligently about automobiles. If his wife desired to be a gourmet cook, she'd certainly study the art of cooking, perhaps even attending a cooking class. Yet it never seems as obvious to him that if he wants to live in love, he must spend at least as much time as the auto mechanic or the gourmet in studying love. Leo Buscaglia. I remember the day I took my driving test at 16, sitting nervously at the DMV, frantically reviewing street signs in my head. I'd been preparing for more than a year, and while I had some trepidation about being trusted with this huge responsibility, I felt ready. Damn it, I had read the manual over and over and logged lots of practice time behind the wheel. When I plunged headfirst into a relationship with my husband, however, I had no such preparation. I didn't study for months about how to make a relationship last before leaning in for that first kiss. I didn't worry about the safety of my heart or his until years later when I already felt deeply invested. Why didn't I put the same due diligence into learning how to do love as I did into learning how to drive? We assume that people ought to just know how to do love, and that is a huge problem. It's the very problem I have been addressing for almost 20 years in my therapy office, in my graduate teaching, and in an undergraduate course I teach at Northwestern University called Building Loving and Lasting Relationships, Marriage 101. As you might imagine, this course is very popular and has received lots of media attention over the years because it is unique, which unfortunately reflects the fact that we have yet to figure out how to really value relationship education. Over the years, many people have told me that they wished they had had the chance to take a class like Marriage 101 before committing to an intimate relationship. What's worse is that those who are wise enough to seek a better understanding of themselves often end up feeling ashamed of themselves for doing so. I see this over and over in my clinical work. When an engaged couple comes to see me for premarital therapy, more often than not, they begin our first session by making a self-conscious statement such as, "I can't believe we are doing couples therapy before we've even walked down the aisle." I quickly jump in and say that I wish all couples were so thoughtful and brave. As a culture, we are obsessed with the idea of love. Consider the $40 billion wedding industry and the entire genre of romance-based reality television. However, we are not nearly so obsessed with investing in love. Note the divorce rate that hovers around 50%. All around us are people struggling in their intimate relationships. Yet most of us are more than willing to enter into a committed intimate relationship or marriage with little or no preparation whatsoever. Relational self-awareness. As I was preparing to write this book, I spent time reading popular books written for single people. Some offer tricks to get someone to fall in love with you. Do this, say this. Others offer rules. Don't text first. Don't have sex for X number of dates. The message in most of these books seems to be, if you listen to your intuition, you will screw it up and get hurt. I was cringing the whole time. I can certainly understand the wish for a recipe or a prescription, something to bring order to the confusion that love inevitably brings. But the problem with following somebody else's truth is that it puts you at risk of losing touch with your own. In this book, I will not tell you what to do or how to feel about your intimate relationship, but I will offer you the tools you need to make healthy and self-aware choices. Connecting in an intimate way with someone else must start from within. It must come from a deep and courageous relationship with yourself. Loving somebody else requires us to be courageous, vulnerable, and real. And you cannot be real with someone else unless and until you can be real with yourself. I don't believe you should simply wait around for that special someone to pop into your life. I believe that your bravest and best work is to look at yourself, understand yourself, and grow yourself so that you can be that special someone. I have seen this happen over and over with friends, with students, and with therapy clients. When we pay attention to and take responsibility for how we do love, we attract partners who are similarly curious, compassionate, and willing to be vulnerable. And we create intimate relationships that can go the distance, intimate relationships that value deep and authentic connection. Self-awareness means knowledge of your own history, character, feelings, motives, and desires. This book is about relational self-awareness, understanding in a deep and heartfelt way how you show up for love. All the relationship tips, skills, and tools in the world will not add up to much unless they rest upon a foundation that is made up of your ongoing commitment to a brave, curious, and compassionate relationship with your own internal world. It will come as no surprise that relational self-awareness is at the heart of the Marriage 101 course. Based on my many years of studying intimate relationships as a professor, couples therapist, and intimate partner, I can say with confidence, relational self-awareness is the cornerstone of all healthy intimate relationships. Love today. We expect much more from intimate relationships than we did 50 or 100 years ago. Historically, and in many parts of the world today, love is not the foundation for marriage. In other times and other places, people married for economic, political, social, and familial reasons. Today, we expect our intimate partner to be our lover, best friend, confidant, co-parent, and sometimes business partner. Some have argued that perhaps our divorce rate is so high because we actually have overburdened marriage with unrealistic and overly romantic expectations. We are loving in the digital age, and we are just beginning to grasp the intricate ways that being plugged in affects how we love. Online dating apps create the illusion of endless choice, which can stir feelings of excitement as well as paralyzing anxiety. This virtual marketplace of love draws our attention outside of ourselves, putting us at greater risk than ever of believing that love is all about making the right choice. Certainly, choosing a compatible partner is one part of the equation, but it is just that, one part. All we can ever truly control is what we are bringing into a relationship. In addition, scrolling social media day after day means that we are powerfully and subtly consuming other people's images and definitions of love. It is more difficult than ever to create and embody our own beliefs and values about love when we are flooded by everyone else's carefully edited and curated love stories. Given all the noise that is part of the digital age, relational self-awareness is more difficult than ever. And in order to be successful in love, relational self-awareness is more important than ever. Brave love. Quieting the noise and clearing the clutter allows us to deepen our relationship with ourselves. As we expand our relational self-awareness, we learn to trust ourselves and to pay attention to all the vital data that swirls within us. This shifts how we love our intimate partner. When relational self-awareness is our guiding principle, we realize that love is a classroom. Romantic love is one of the most powerful vehicles of self-transformation that we will ever encounter. As I tell my Marriage 101 students, Falling in love will grow your ass up. Viewing love as a classroom, ripe with opportunities to learn and grow, creates a shift within you. You begin to view your intimate partner as your teacher, and yourself as his or her teacher too. You see that everything that happens within your intimate relationship holds the possibility for personal transformation, and from a place of curiosity and connection, you rise to the challenges of romantic love, rather than fighting against them or running from them. Loving bravely means committing to the ongoing practice of relational self-awareness, understanding the stories you carry about love, accepting that there are no quick fixes or easy answers, striving for authenticity, being willing to look at your role in relationship challenges, seeing your partner as deeply connected to you and completely separate from you, viewing your differences as opportunities for growth rather than threats, seeking shades of gray, not black and white answers, feeling energized rather than defeated by the work of loving your partner, loving yourself because of, and not in spite of, your imperfections and tender spots, loving your partner because of, and not in spite of, his or her imperfections and tender spots. Loving like this is the work of a lifetime. As lovers, we are never done, fixed or perfect. Nor would we want to be, as love thrives in the messy richness of me, you, and us. Brave love simply means that we commit ourselves to staying with the messy richness of love instead of ignoring it, suppressing it, or being crushed by it. Whether you plan to marry or not, it is likely that intimate relationships are and will be central in your life. As mammals, the desire for intimate connection is woven into our DNA. I use the term intimate relationship because it is inclusive of a variety of stages and forms of relationships. The lessons in this book are relevant to any type of intimate relationship and any stage of intimate relationship development, dating, committed, living together, engaged, or married. How to use this book. This book is a courageous journey within, offering 20 lessons that will grow your relational self-awareness so that you can love more bravely and deeply than ever before. These lessons are divided into 4 parts, each with its own intention. Part 1. Self-reflection. The intention is to learn how the past affects the present. We will gather answers to the questions. What did I learn about love when I was growing up? How do my relationships with the people who raised me shape who I am in my intimate relationships? Part 2. Self-awareness. The intention is to learn how cultural messages and cultural stories shape your beliefs about intimate relationships. We will gather answers to the questions. What do I believe about love? How does that shape who I am in my intimate relationships? Part 3. Self-expression. The intention is to learn how your relationship with your internal, emotional world affects you in your intimate relationship. We will gather answers to the questions. How do I relate to my emotions? How does that shape who I am in my intimate relationships? Part 4. Self-expansion. The intention is to solidify the path back to your deep and wise internal compass. We will gather answers to the questions. How can I know when I have become lost from myself? How can I find my way back to a place that is authentic and whole? Although the lessons and exercises of the book are deeply personal, the possibilities for growth and transformation through the book can be supercharged by sharing your reflections and personal work in a group setting. You can find the Loving Bravely Reading Group Guide online at newharbinger.com/35814. The Name, Connect, Choose process. As we journey through mind, body, heart, and spirit, our tool for expanding relational self-awareness is a process I call Name, Connect, Choose. You will practice this process throughout the book as we explore a variety of issues, topics, and questions. Change happens through the name, connect, choose process. Name asks you to tell your story, identify and declaring something as your truth or your experience. The power in naming comes from bringing what was buried, or out of your awareness, into the light of examination. Connect asks you to attune to yourself, turning your attention within and experiencing the emotions that are attached to the particular story you are telling. Connecting emotionally to your deep truth breathes life into your unearthed story. Choose asks you to take responsibility for how you love today. Whereas a lack of awareness inevitably keeps you stuck in a loop, conscious awareness facilitates choice. When you know more, you can make decisions from a place of eyes-open empowerment. You can download a handout that reminds you how the Name, Connect, Choose process works at newharbinger.com/35814. Steps Toward Loving Bravely. Each of the book's lessons is followed by a set of exercises that puts the lesson into practice in your life. They are called Steps Toward Loving Bravely. These are journal writing prompts, exercises, and practices designed to help you connect deeply with the work of the lesson, and they are integral to your growth. Completing the Steps Toward Loving Bravely will help you make the most of what this book has to offer. Throughout the book, in order to better understand your intimate relationships, you will be asked to look at your relationship with the people who raised you. For the sake of simplicity, I will use the plural term parents throughout the book, with full awareness of and respect for the many forms that families take. You may have grown up with two parents, or perhaps you had one parent, a relative, or others who served as caregivers for you. Your focus will be on the key adults who shaped your love template, the foundation of how you love today. For readers who are currently in therapy, this book may open new avenues for you to explore with your therapist. For readers who are not in therapy, this book is likely to kick up some dust, so to speak. In fact, many of my students begin therapy during or after taking my courses, which is a very good thing. Exploring these topics in the safety of a therapeutic relationship can supercharge your relational self-awareness journey. I believe so much in the value of therapy that I have included information about how to find a therapist as Appendix 2 at the end of this book. Your Love Classroom. As a student, I always loved the first day of school. As a professor, I still love it. Every year, I stand in front of the students and say, I am awestruck and grateful that we get to spend time together muddling through all the complexities of love. That's our job, to come together, share, study, question and discover what it is we believe, individually and collectively, about love. That is how I feel about this book as well. I am grateful to have the opportunity to explore with you in a deep, curious, personal way. As you travel through the pages of this book, your own love classroom, I hope your awareness expands and you grow more confident, competent, and brave in love. I can't tell you how to love, and I can't give you a recipe for success. Love is too personal and nuanced to obey any rule book. What I can do is support and guide you through a journey that will open you up to your deepest truths. And I can promise that the work you will do in this book will grow your relational self-awareness, allowing you to make vital and healing shifts in your relationship to yourself and to your intimate partner. Part 1. Self-Reflection. Lesson 1. Understand your past. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. Maya Angelou. You exist in the present moment, with your past behind you and your future ahead of you. But your past is still with you, and always will be, and it shapes the lens through which you experience the present moment. Your past shapes how you love. The family you grew up in granted you your first relationship curriculum. Your family home was your first love classroom. In that classroom, you were offered lessons about how to give and receive love, how to handle difference and conflict, and how to ask for your needs to be met. Your attachment style, an alchemical blend of nature and nurture that dictated how you reached for and connected with your caregivers, was in place before your second birthday. And, in all likelihood, that attachment style remains with you today. How you reached for and connected with your caregivers is probably a lot like how you reach for and connect with your intimate partner today. The past comes with us. The relationship that your parents had with each other was your first template for an intimate relationship. This is true regardless of the structure and quality of that relationship, intact and loving, intact but unhealthy, or severed. The relationship between your parents was your first love template, even if they never had an intimate relationship with each other. The absence of something can still have an impact. How the adults in your life navigated their intimate relationships taught you about love. Some of the learning was explicit. Most of it was implicit. In the opening scene of the 2015 movie Trainwreck, Amy Schumer's character is a little girl sitting with her sister on the hood of the family station wagon. Their father, by way of explaining the impending divorce, asked the girls to repeat after him again and again, "Monogamy isn't realistic." That was some seriously explicit teaching about love. Most of our parents more subtly offered us messages about what to expect and not expect from an intimate relationship, and we took in a great deal of listening, watching, and feeling how our parents loved. Did your parents demonstrate compassion, tenderness, respect, and honesty in their intimate relationships? If so, you probably aspire to bring those elements into your love life as well. Did your parents demonstrate hostility, abuse, addiction, neglect, or deceit? If so, you probably aspire to break the chain and love differently than what you were shown. Unfortunately, just saying, "I'll never end up like my parents," is not enough because many, if not most, of the messages about love that we internalize in childhood, though impactful, are quiet and out of our direct awareness. There's a big difference between talking the talk and walking the walk. Family patterns, loyalties, and legacies are strong, and unless you are willing to explore your past, you are at risk of having old patterns in the driver's seat of your love life, rather than you. No enemies within. It can feel frightening to explore the past. Even my graduate students resist digging up their ancient history because it's uncomfortable, unsettling, and painful. But they must do so in order to become competent therapists. Think about that. These are people who are choosing to dedicate their lives to family dynamics, and yet they are hesitant to explore their own. You are not alone in your fear. Many of us prefer to believe that just saying the past is the past makes it so. I get it. After all, what if the past was full of pain and dysfunctional relationships? And what if it means that you are therefore incapable of love? Fortunately, I firmly believe that nobody is damaged beyond repair. Healing is always possible. I have seen people who grew up in really dysfunctional families go on to become generous and devoted partners and parents. A healthy intimate relationship is always possible, as long as both partners are deeply committed to checking themselves when the past sneaks into the present, as it always does. This isn't just a one-time exercise, it's a lifestyle. During a discussion in the Marriage 101 course about the dysfunctional family patterns surrounding addiction, infidelity, and domestic violence, one of my students, Lena, raised her hand looking worried. "All three of those things happened in the family I grew up in," she said. "Does that mean I'm doomed to fail in my intimate relationship?" My answer was a resounding no. The fact that her family of origin, the family she grew up in, struggled in these ways does not mean that she is doomed to repeat unhealthy patterns. But it does mean that she has the responsibility.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?